What's going on, Jerome's? Beautiful Thursday. Happy Thirsty Thursday out there to those who celebrate. It's time for another Vikings news dump. He sees you when you're pooping. That's right. So, first off, I feel like I need to explain the Justin Jefferson jersey, right? So, a lot of people have commented since I put this thing on that I have a standing rule of a grown man should only have jerseys of players who are older than him. I don't know what it's. I feel like if you wear the jersey of a player who's younger than you, it's almost like infantilizing you. Infantilize. Yeah, makes you feel like a kid, right? But also, I changed my mind. Am I a hypocrite? Don't care. It's happened, man. But also, so there's only so many players you get with this one. Not saying, I'm just saying. But either way, feeling good, looking good. Mo Salah just scored. Liverpool doing work in the Champions League, which is fantastic. So there you go. Diving on in. So also fantastic is TJ Hockenson. They're opening up his 21-day return to practice window on Friday. So he probably won't be back for the Jets game. Maybe the Jets. Maybe the Lions, week 7, maybe the Rams on Thursday Night Football, short week right after that. Either way, Hockenson's returning. This offense is already top 5 in the league. We're coming for that number 1 spot, baby. Like, how do you defend this? Unfortunately, the 21-day practice window for Dalton Reisner, who's been dealing with a back issue, was not opened this week, but sorry, is what it is. Ed Ingram has improved over the last couple of weeks, but having veteran guard depth with Reisner certainly will come in handy. But get that back good to go, and if it's midseason, if it's late in the season, either way, we'll have him back, and that'll be good. Also good is slinging Sammy Darnold, aka America's quarterback, getting things done. And as every week goes by, it almost feels like the national media jabroni haircuts who have crucified Sam Darnold for years, right? And we've explained this because he played in New York, and a lot of media is still East Coast biased, and you get easy points and clicks if you just hate on the Towns quarterback who isn't performing well. All of that added up on top of the Jets being terrible and poorly coached. It wasn't going to work out, right? But every single week, it seems like people are waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's like, so there's Sam Darnold. But Darnold wasn't terrible with the Jets, even given the circumstances. And for stretches with the Panthers, he was pretty damn aight, again, given the circumstances, right? But Sam Darnold is from NFL Stats. In Week 4, Slinging Sam Darnold became the first quarterback in the Super Bowl era to win his first 4 games with a new team and throw 2 touchdowns in each game. Now, there's been a litany of quarterbacks throughout the years who didn't work out at their first stop, but they catch on with the right team, catch a little lightning in the bottle, and you're good to go. So historically, Earl Morrall with the Colts and then with the Dolphins, and Jim Plunkett, former number 1 pick by the Patriots, and all of a sudden goes to the Raiders, wins 2 Super Bowls. Trent Dilfer, right, top 5 pick with the Buccaneers, didn't work out, went to the 2000 Ravens, good to go. Our guy Brad Johnson, right, coming out of Florida State, then all of a sudden you end up with the Buccaneers and wins a Super Bowl. And then you look at Rich Gannon on the other side, where how many former Vikings got on to do good things? I mean, Rich Gannon was league MVP in 2002, former Vikings backup, journeyman, right? And then you look at recent examples. You look at Geno Smith 2 years ago. You look at Baker last year. And Darnold is this year's version. And everything that he's done, like there's no smoke and mirrors. There's no fluke. There's nothing there. It's just good, rock-solid football. He and Kevin O'Connell are on the same page, and weapons upon weapons upon weapons. And, oh, yeah, he gets a top 3 tight end back who isn't 3 very, very soon. You're good, man. But also, I feel like we Vikings fans, like, so many things have happened where our hopes and dreams get taken up. So 69, 75, 89, 98, 01, 09, 2017, 2022, right? All of the hopes and dreams get ratcheted up, and then sometimes they come crashing down. But dear, sweet baby, 7-pound, 2-ounce baby Jesus, like one time, Will Raggett Sports Illustrated. NFL teams since 1990 to start 4-0 with a preseason Vegas win total below 7. But I was told Vegas always knows. 2024 Vikings, 09 Broncos finished 8-8. 1999 Rams. Hey, they drafted Tebow right afterwards. The 99 Rams finished 13-3, won the Super Bowl. The 99 Rams almost broke Vegas because there was a lot of action after Trent Green got hurt in preseason. They went to 200-1. So plus 20,000 to win the Super Bowl. And some people were just like, yeah, why not? Because that 99 Rams team was supposed to be good, but then their quarterback, Trent Green, got hurt, and no one knew who Kurt Warner was. And then he just became league MVP, Super Bowl MVP, everything VP, right? 1995 Rams finished 7-9, whatever. With their coaching staff and talent, I don't see this Vikings team falling apart. Knocking on all the wood. Now, I'm pretty sure Will is from here, right? Because he's a Minnesota sports fan, etc. So he would know. I mean, he would know, right? Where I feel like I don't want to whip out the "it's the hope that kills you," the longtime English saying, but I understand week at a time. I understand being cautiously optimistic. I understand being excited for the first 4 weeks. And hey, we're Mr. Purple Positivity, sipping on that purple drink, sipping on the scissor, right? But I just got to see it. You know what I mean? We get super hyped. We can thump our chests a little bit, but pride goeth before the fall. 1 week at a time. 1 week at a time. Super Bowl homeboy, but we'll get there 1 week at a time. That's right. But hey, William, Billy, I mean, come on. I don't see this team falling apart. Freezing cold takes. Come on. Vikings are starting to get some love from the national media, Jerome haircuts. Now, I will say that RG3 is fair. Like, he's called a spade throughout his time in the media. Like, he respects Kirk Cousins, even though Kurt took a gerb in Washington, and he's shown respect to the Vikings. He loves slinging Sam Darnold. And, I mean, RG3 was probably in a similar situation. Well, not one-for-one comparison with Darnold, because he did have the Shanahans, both Ka and Daddy Mike. But, so he had competent coaching, offensive personnel-wise in Washington. But RG3, a highly drafted guy, maybe he landed somewhere else, it would have worked out, but it didn't in Washington. But showing some respect to the Vikings. I mean, this top five, I mean, the Vikes, Chiefs, his former team, the Commies, shows that he doesn't hold a grudge. I feel like RG3 is like a good person, but I feel like he should hold grudges. Like, he has all the reason in the world to hold grudges, man. Yeah, Lions, Ravens, etc. There you go. Also, Stephen A. Smith famously loves to poo-poo on the Vikings. Basically, so first up, he's more of a basketball guy. I respect his basketball takes to a degree. I respect his boxing takes. He's really good there. Football-wise, I feel like he just does football because it's the topic du jour, right? His baseball takes are god-awful too. But Chris Carter, our guy, CC, gave him the come to Jesus talk, and now he's properly ranking the Vikings numero uno in the league behind the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Lions, and the Commies. So basically just shaking up what RG3 said. And now, hey, I understand it's great to fly under the radar, but as things go along, if the Vikings go 5-0 into the bye, I mean, it's hard to stay under the radar. No, this is not 2016. Go back and watch the games from 2016. Even me at the time, hardcore Vikings fan, felt like this probably isn't sustainable. They won the turnover battle 12-1 those first 5 games. They had 2 defensive scores. They had 2 punt return touchdowns. It wasn't sustainable, right? And Bradford just wasn't looking good. Anyways, speaking of looking good, so the Vikings certainly should be buyers at the trade deadline, and we did have a video coming out today about why the Vikings should trade for Quinnen Williams. Just fly home on the Delta chartered plane. Man, just come home with us, because the Jets, after the Jets lose on Sunday, they're probably going to be cleaning house. The Giants need to hit a hard reset. The Cowboys are beset by injuries, so their season could be lost. So Quinnen Williams of the Jets, Dexter Lawrence, the second of the Giants, Osa Odigizua from the Cowboys. Come on down, baby, because that's the thing that the Vikings are missing right now, that interior pass rush. And yeah, Quinnen and Lawrence are on premium contracts. Their sign-in bonuses stay on the books of their current teams. So those contracts are very edible. Vikings have around $76 million in cap space next year. Even if you pay Darnold, you're going to have room, right? And Odigizua is an apple of my eye, along with Lee McNeil of the Lions, of guys that should go after free agency. Why not kickstart my heart, right? So I understand that the Vikings are bereft of draft picks, but also at a certain point, F them picks. You have a Super Bowl window now, and also Kwesi is much better at UDFAs anyway. There you go. So I think that Williams and Lawrence would probably take a first plus. Odigizua in a contract year, maybe a little bit less, but then you'd have to pay him yourself next offseason. So either way, make it happen. Make it happen, because that's the only thing that's missing, because the Vikings are great rushing from the edge. We just need that consistent interior pass rush, especially from 4-down linemen. But sack leaders through week 4, basically the quarter mark of the season. Patrick Jones tied for 3rd in the league behind Aiden Hutchinson, because Hutchinson got 5 in the game. Cool. And also Kyle Van Noy. So I love Kyle Van Noy's story from BYU. He was roommates with Ziggy Ansah, if you remember him from the Lions. And Van Noy, I wanted Van Noy. So he was a Flores guy with the Patriots as well as with the Dolphins, and he's not costing the Ravens a ton. He's got 6 sacks. He's a great pass-rushing off-ball linebacker, but also I guess we're kind of full. If you're going to choose between the two, I probably would have taken Van Ginkel, and I'm definitely taking Cashman, but still would have been nice. Yeah, but Jones up there as well. And plus, it's not just Jones getting in there and getting sacks, but he's setting the edge. He's taking on blockers. He's freeing things up for his teammates, and he's just been really good right now. And then you got Will McDonald IV, pride of Iowa State. The only Jet outside of Williams who's consistently getting pressure. So definitely watch for 99 and the sack exchange. I do like those uniforms, though. Well, they need to take away the white stripes on the shoulders, but yeah. But also part and parcel there is the Vikings getting pressure, tied with the Lions for the most in the National Football League. Now, frankly, the Lions numbers are fluffed up because of the Bucks and the Seahawks game, but whatever. But the Vikings tied for the lead with 94, wanting some more. Grenard's getting after things. Hottie Ward is second on the team in pressures with 12. So the Vikings are generating chances at a very high, consistent rate, which leads to sacks. And the Vikings are leading the league with 17 right meow. And Jets fans, oh, by the way, it's Thursday. And have you seen that Packers fans are still trying to cope, and they're still mad? It's Thursday. It's Thursday, man. But the Jets fans are trying to convince themselves that, hey, we got a shot, baby. Dylon, New York Jets fans only blog. The Vikings defense has allowed the most passing yards in NFL through 4 games, 1,097. Write that down. So the thinking is that Aaron Rodgers, his weapons suddenly will catch the ball. Right? Allen Lazard won't be Allen Lazard. Garrett Wilson will get his head out of his ass. The offensive line will actually do things. Olaf Fushanu won't give up 75,000 pressures to John Grenard and company. And Rodgers will have a vintage, alleged 2019-2020 MVP, hashtag not my MVP, performance, put up 350 and 4, couple free play, touchdowns, all that stuff. All right, maybe he'll get his cadence sorted out. He won't be feuding with Rob Salah anymore, but not buying it. So there's a lot of context there because, yes, the Vikings are dead last right now in passing yards allowed on defense with 1,097. It just is what it is. But there's a lot of context there. Number one, the Vikings are also dead last in the league with 176 passing attempts thrown on them. And if you extrapolate that out to 17 games, that would be an NFL record by about 100 throws. Because there's been significant catch-up time in each of the 4 games. Me so sorry that the Vikings team is so dominant on offense and defense that the opposing team basically gets in a pass-happy script later in the game. Now, you want to say it's prevent defense, but the Vikings, looking to take away the big play, playing too deep, playing 2 deep safeties, playing quarters defense, and there's things underneath. And those yards, even in garbage time, they still stand out, right, without context. Because the Giants were in catch-up mode, the Niners were in catch-up mode, the Texans certainly were in catch-up mode, and the Packers obviously were as well. So just a little bit of context there. Also, their first interceptions with 8 and 10th in net yards per attempt at 5.7. They lead the league in sacks as well, and also tied for the league lead in pressures. So, okay, go ahead. If you think it's so easy to throw on the Vikings, why don't you just do that from the jump? Beginning of the game, just go throw with old-ass Aaron Rodgers, Bird Bones, Calcium Boniva. His arm is washed. The offensive line can't block. Breece Hall is being misused. And just go ahead. That's all I got to say. Nothing would make Flores happier, to be honest. Because, honestly, if they actually get things going with Breece Hall and Braylon Allen, it could be an issue. But I guess we'll see. Also, a big part of the Vikings' pass defense being, the pass defense is fine. It's just a misnomer because of game script right now, the yardage allowed. But someone who isn't giving up a lot of yardage, Stephon Gilmore. I believe that's Mr. Gilmore's. PFF Vikes go. 44 coverage snaps against the Packers, 3 receiving yards allowed, 1 forced incompletion, 42.4 pass rating when thrown at, which is good. You get 39.6 for just throwing straight into the ground. So Gilly is doing fantastic. Shaq Griffin, we talked about him as an unsung hero yesterday. And Murph, the Byron Murphy Jr. experience, where he'll get picked on, and then all of a sudden he'll come up with some big-time plays. I love Murph, man. He's fantastic. Something that isn't fantastic. So Aaron Rodgers on Tuesday was on the McAfee show talking about how, my knee, it's a little sore. And we said at the time, he's laying the groundwork for a built-in excuse, right? Zach Rosenblatt, Jets beat writer. Robert Salah, Jets head coach, said Aaron Rodgers' knee will appear on the injury report today, but he'll be a full go. So basically, it's BS. Basically, that's what I said. And he's laying the groundwork for a built-in excuse because if and when the Vikings crush his ass, I was like, oh, my knee. My performance was ass because of my knee. But if somehow, some way he has a good game, or, the outside chance that the Jets win, all of a sudden, oh, what a hero. Oh, what a warrior. Oh, he basically did it on one leg. Oh, Lordy. It's what the headlines would read. And it's so transparent. It's as obvious as it is pathetic, to be honest. But it's okay. It's okay. We after that ass, Aaron. That's right, baby. But that's it. Trade for Quentin Williams. Let's hear your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You know what to do. Skol, production value.